the back-to-back wins and all that, some good vibes coming through this week. This is a big week, I would imagine, for you guys. If you step back and look at it, after this week, you get those 5 games in a row at home. So I would imagine, how important is this week? Are you guys preaching it as it's quite a big road trip here?
Well, we're approaching it like we have, from day one. It's got to be a day-to-day thing. We have to, yesterday at the start of practice, we talked about, hey, we have, beaten a couple teams, but those 2 teams were, not the best in the league right now. But it is a step forward. We cannot allow ourselves to get complacent and have any sense of insecurity, or false sense of security, rather, to allow ourselves to get in that mindset. We have to continue to improve each day in practice. We had to have a good practice yesterday. We did. We're going to have to come out today, have a good practice, and focus on one game. That's the bottom line. Each game is very, very important. And from this point forward, we could do a lot of things if we take care of business on that day-to-day kind of attitude.
How eager are you as a coach? You talked a little bit about taking it on the road. You guys have won on, I think, 3 home floors of an opponent this year, once in the league. But how eager are you to kind of see if, just from a curiosity standpoint, whether or not the effort, the intensity, and the focus that the guys had on Saturday can be carried into a trip like this that presents some challenge?
I'm excited, and I think the guys are coming into their own. There's no question that the last 3 weeks, there's just more of a sense of them looking out for each other and playing harder. Now we're going to have to do it in 2 different settings on the road, and both talented teams. So if we continue with the mental approach, understanding how each day is important, and then going on the road and giving ourselves a chance to win with our defense and taking care of the ball and taking good shots, then I feel really good. And the last 3 weeks have given myself, the coaching staff, the players, the fan base, some hope that we can get this thing turned around. Now we've got to take that next jump.
Is this a bit of a tricky trip? You guys have done a couple years now on the road, 1 week. You're pretty much gone the whole week. After that first road game, you stay there basically. You don't really go anywhere. Is it tricky to do, or do you like having that kind of time away?
I kind of like it. I like it because we're not traveling. I think, resource-wise, Ross Bjork has been great with helping us travel the way we need to travel, so we're not beat up and we have a chance to compete a little bit higher level. It's tough on those, those 8-hour bus trips, which actually are 16-hour bus trips, to come back on that turnaround and take, play an afternoon game, or play that Saturday. So I kind of like the setup the way it is this week. We can lock in and focus on Thursday's game, and once that's over, you're not having to travel. You can prepare a little bit more because you're not traveling.
How unique a challenge is Thursday? I mean, FIU is certainly improved from a talent standpoint, but Jim just seems to be one that, for no matter the quality of WKU teams, has always been a difficult one to play in. The atmosphere is not real thick there most of the time. It seems to be unique.
We'll talk about it, creating our own atmosphere, but I do imagine they'll have a better crowd than normal.
Yeah.
They have a very talented team. You could argue they have the most talented team in the conference, but they're putting together their pieces, and some of these kids have become eligible at the semester, so they're not in the groove right now. But we have to go in and make them play bad and give ourselves some confidence. We've been building on that, and I think we could do that early in the game by not putting so much stress on the offense and really playing some good defense. But I mean, they're the kind of team they can. They got Kentucky transfers, they got Arkansas transfers, they got JUCO transfers. They got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole. We don't want to be the kind of the team that they get it going against.
Is it? I don't know whose scout it was, but is it a difficult scout because they've only been complete for about 3 or 4 weeks?
Not really, because when you watch them on tape, when you cut up a tape and put in some individual highlights, you can see how talented they are. You really can, and how athletic they are. They've got a big team. They've got guards that have put it in the book. A lot of our kids know their guys. Reputation-wise, they had a kid coming out of high school as a top 50 kid. Those are challenges, and also, it's good for this team right now to play against these guys because we're going to have to bring it. I expect them to play better than they have. And 2 years ago, remind the guys yesterday, we went down there and took a loss. It was a bad loss. We got to just concentrate on the fundamentals and continuing to improve. You know, we're another man down right now because of Mike Gabbard having a high ankle sprain. So everybody has to step up. I want the freshmen to continue to come on and be hungry for minutes, and they've been doing that. And our bench play has been excellent the last couple of games. You're not seeing tons of points and rebounds, but you're seeing them hold the line when they come in the game. And even in Cliff Dixon's case, taking us to another level with how active he is. So there's a lot of things, a lot of positives that we've got to build on.
Well, what do you expect? How long? It might tear anything? Or just a sprain?
It's a high ankle sprain, which is pretty severe. I've been told 3 weeks before he's really on it. And but outside of a week, once he gets out of the boot, then we'll know more. But it's a tough hit because he's really starting to help, and I really wanted to try to put him in each half to get some guys some rest.
More responsibility than on Jamal and Khalil. Those two guys had 2 fouls in the first half. A situation like that happens, and you guys are kind of really against it. How careful do you have to be?
We got the big lineup we could play, and we'll definitely do that with Juan at the 3 or Pet at the 3. So there's opportunities to do that, and obviously become a pretty good rebounding team at that point. Jamal's playing well. I want him to continue to do that and grab more minutes. And he's shown the last couple times out incredible focus, taking care of the ball, pushing tempo, playing good defense, and making good decisions, most of all, that have allowed us to kind of get our running game going and get some things going on the offensive end.
I know you guys are taking, sorry, Zach.
I'll work on something about Khalil for later in the week. You know, he's a guy that you said that had to make a lot of adjustments on and off the court coming to this level, even now playing a different position. Just talk a little bit about the growth of him throughout this year.
Well, I'm really proud of him. He is really, really grown up just on the job, which isn't easy. He is playing out of position, which also is not easy. So there's a lot of pressure on him. There's all eyes on him and pointing on him when things aren't going good. And he's handled it. He really has handled it and gotten better. He's gotten his body in great shape to play the minutes. We're asking him to now guard a point guard, and that's not easy because usually you're guarding a guy that's quicker than you. But he's doing a good job on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, he's letting the game come to him rather than force, sometimes bad shots. But he's starting to mix in plays where he can go off the dribble and find a guy's shot, get a guy's shot. So really, really happy with his progress. His attitude has been great. He is really just grown up in a short amount of time. A lot of time with junior college kids, it'll take them a full year to really understand their potential and settle into the system. He's doing that in a quicker, time frame, a lot because we've kind of forced him to. But he has to show that willingness to do it, and he has done that. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Was it kind of a fold or go forward moment with him earlier in the year? I know you guys held him out of the Memphis trip, and really since then he's come up a little
No,
higher.
there was no fold.
Well, not in that sense, but was there a moment where he had to really either say, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this," or
I mean,
something?
I think when the expectation, kids come into the situation and you all want to be in a high level program, and sometimes it takes a little while to get used to just how high level this is, and it's intense. And you lose your cool one time, and you got to grow from it. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And what I love is that he's bounced back from, just one instance where he didn't take care of his business right and acted a little immaturely. But I mean, he's been terrific since then, and only moving forward and only getting better. So sometimes you take a hit, sometimes you have to get a little low before you move on, and that's Khalil. But we're a much better team right now because of him.
You joked last year when you guys were going to play FIU, the joke it didn't come down to a playing contest between you and Coach Thomas, but then you actually didn't get to coach against him at all. I wonder if that's, if you have any thoughts about kind of the uniqueness of, this is his second year, but this is the first time you guys are actually going to coach.
It is interesting. He had obviously a death in the family, which was tough on the first time around. Then he got thrown out the game before we played him down there. But we'll laugh about it. He's doing an excellent job in recruiting and trying to build his program, and that'll take time. That'll take time for him. But he's definitely getting some people in there that are going to get things excited. And it's not it's not an easy situation. I think it's easy from the standpoint of thinking of playing for a Hall of Fame coach. You know, he's selling Isaiah more than at times, you know, atmosphere or facilities and those types of things. And that's not easy, but he's doing a good job. And you know, we'll have to we'll laugh about some things before the game, especially if we win. Tell him to go back and get thrown out next time or something, because I'm sure he doesn't want to lose.
He's still got 2 years now. He went pro. So I said maybe pull some eligibility out and go against you guys.
For him?
Yeah, he's gone. He's done. He went out early, but he went pro.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. 5 years to play for.
Anything else today?
Anything else?
Did you end up hearing what Coach Jarvis said in here about FIU after their game here a couple weeks ago?
No.